Hola amigos, and welcome to a transit preview with me, IsaSilver. I'm a human design translator, and this week's transit is one I'm particularly sensitive to. You can see here that it's an unusual transit in that these polar opposites, determination, the willpower to work for the tribe, and loyalty, the Earth's transit, the emotional dedication to the community, they're polar opposites, and yet they make a life force in the body graph. One of three places where the polarities are also a life force. And in my design, it helps me notice that I have an emotional gate because I think of myself as a cold, splenic creature. You can see my fully black splenic definition, root to throat. But actually, my unconscious standards are in gate 37 in loyalty. And I don't get to notice that except when this transit comes along and does things like makes me super emotional about, to be honest, betrayals of loyalty, and sometimes affects my stomach. And yeah, this one affects me. So, I get into the details of determination and loyalty, I'll mention also that loyalty and work have been part of the plan for humanity, the direction and identity of humanity for the past 400 years, and they're going out of style because the next plan for humanity includes abundance as the way and intimacy as the temple. Loyalty and work and keeping the marriage bargain and keeping the work bargain and making things happen through dedication to the community, it's not the future. So starting with the willpower gate of determination, the foundation is relaxation, enjoying the fruits of one's labor. The tribe has done the work. Enjoy the fact that the work is done and there are fruits to enjoy. On the other side of that is the mother father, that steady center of a harmonious community. You might recognize that this first line is in the background frequency since about 1961, and yet how many people have experienced a mother or father as the steady center of a harmonious community? I have not, neither mother nor father, and many people I know have not experienced that, and many people I know who carry this gate 37 have been abused sexually by their mothers or fathers. And so I think there's a generation of us who have no idea about the foundation of loyalty. And that's a really weird place from which to have the fourth line, the example, which I carry, and strangely, many people I know also carry, but yet they haven't lived from that steadiness. The natural of determination, liberation, it's shedding disrupting qualities. Leave me alone to do my work. I will let go of all of the things that do not support my ability to be left alone to do what I do for the tribe. And literally feeding from the mouth into the stomach, that liberation is responsibility, personal responsibility as a basis for friendship. experiencing of determination gets the keynote avoidance. Careful consideration to avoid negative forces. Of course, that means that the shadow is someone who doesn't recognize which forces to avoid. And on the other side of the mandala is the trial and error experience with loyalty. Boy, have I seen this light in action. The aspirational keynote is even-handedness, to impartially maintain order, which of course means that the shadow is a lack of sensitivity to recognize what kind of behavior is appropriate in the community while also punishing other people in the community for failing to recognize that. And then there's the externalization of determination, to organize for the purpose of liberation, to put it out there, to network the value of determination. And what supports this through its polarity and feeds that organization? The example. Leadership through exemplary behavior. Now, because I unconsciously carry this line, I have really wondered about the detriment here. Leadership that is only acknowledged in members of the community accepted by tradition. I grew up with zero tradition, zero. I mean, we had Christmas dinner, but and Thanksgiving dinner, but really nothing more than that. I'm not sure what members of the community I could have favored this way, but I think it's possible that my years of only accepting Ra Uru Hu's interpretation of human design could be that. I'm not sure. If you know what this detriment's about, and especially if you've seen it in me, will you let me know? Now, the universalizing, the clarity line of determination. A summary, by the way, of determination is the determination to break free from obligations of the community by being alone. Half of the channel of community is breaking away from the community. And the line is called rigidity, rigidity towards negative forces. Where are the negative forces coming from? They're coming from the emotional center. And the line from the emotional side is called love, natural devotion to the community. This is the projection that you are the manifestation of orderly coexistence in loyal and supportive communities. But it's only a projection field. And the detriment there brought out by Mars includes the word hate or hatred, because there is a projection that becomes emotional dependency. I depend on you to love me, and since you're not doing it, you heretic, I hate you. I have felt this at least once, but maybe only in one situation. The fact that I've never felt hatred towards family members, for example, might mean that I never projected love on them. It doesn't sound pretty, but I'm in that growing growing percentage of people that never really felt emotional bonding in the family unit. Avoiding truth and confrontation was the game there, and that's a hard one to unlearn. And here we come to the sixth line of determination: exclusion. Exclude forces in order to protect the group is what the role model, the separate and connected frequency of determination. If I recall, the keynote Ra called it decapitation. Sometimes you have to cut off heads to keep the group whole. In my seeing of things, this is where something like a Holocaust comes from, or it's that those people can't be in our tribe and keep it a tribe. If I remember correctly, Mr. Tate carries this line, the whole channel. He's willing to cut off heads to keep his tribe together. The emotional polarity appreciation, to recognize and honor the values of the community. Bright side brought out by Venus, the gift of understanding the inner meaning of community and appreciating its values, while Mercury, the thinking and expressing, brings out the shadow, which is actually the need for diversity that values casual relationships, connecting outside the community. Well, thank you for being here as I explored that. If you have not seen your chart yet, here it is. There's mine. There's places you can get yours. And if you'd like to know more about how the Rave I Ching describes the duality of each of these lines, because there is a light and a shadow for each, I suggest these sources. And if you'd like to meet up with me, you should probably email me at IsaSilver at, what is it, IsaSilver at pm.me. Yeah, that second website's not around anymore, but IsaSilver Human Design, yeah, something new will happen there pretty soon, but you can find me. And I would like to be found. Send me a message sometime. And do what you can to survive this challenging, powerful, emotional willpower transit. Take good care. Bye for now.